So today, we're gonna build out a course from start to finish inside of HighLevel. We're gonna do all the automations, how to create the actual products for somebody to purchase, how to give people access, and then more importantly, how to kind of basically put it all together so it's easy for anybody to do. So stay tuned and build along with us. Now, there's been a lot of updates over the last several months and a year possibly since the last video we did where we showed the basic kind of like setup from start to finish. Today, we're gonna do the same setup. There's been a couple of updates that are really important. We're also gonna include how to give access to a community because a lot of people are doing courses inside the community and we wanna show you a little bit of the difference that's there. So without further ado, as always, let's jump right in. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna jump into our test account as always. And inside of our test account, we are gonna go first create the actual product. Now, I need you to understand that there's a little bit of confusion in the way things are kind of said and the way they're described inside the system. So when I'm talking about products I'm talking about the products in the payments area. Now, there's different ways you can build out a course and receive payment for it. We're gonna do it a particular way that's been working for us for the last several years. And again, we're gonna update it based on the things that we can do now versus before. And this is gonna be pretty in-depth, so stay tuned all the way to the end because there's probably gonna be some kind of like step that you're gonna miss that's gonna make your process an entirely easier process. Now, we're not gonna be able to do a lot of the design work on this because that takes a lot of time, but what we are gonna do is do everything that you need in order to create the shell to have you be able to sell your course and build out your course directly in the system. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go to payments and we're gonna create some products. And then in payments, you're gonna go over to products. Now, the word products is interchangeable because in here, products means anything that somebody's gonna give you money for, and that's what we wanna do. So I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna create my product first, and we're gonna call this Nuno's HighLevel course, okay? And then in here, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna set a price. So if you scroll all the way down, you can come over here and then the price is gonna be a one-time fee of, let's say it's $5.97, okay? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and hit save. But right off the bat, a lot of people ask us, well, what if I wanna do like a two-pay program, or like a two-payment program? And we can do that too. So what I'm gonna do is create a two-payment option, which is gonna be $600 or $650 or $700, whatever you want it to make. So then you can cover just in case somebody doesn't give you the second payment. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create the second product has a two-pay. So I'm gonna go ahead and add another price. The price is gonna be Nuno's HighLevel course, right? And I like to identify it as a two-pay because this way people know that there's a two-payment option directly in there. We're gonna add it as recurring. The amount is gonna be, let's say $700, and I'm gonna break it up into two payments of $350. The reason I charge more on a two-pay is the odds of somebody making the second payment, and there's some pretty crazy scams out there right now where people are using like shopping carts in order to do this. So just make sure you're protecting yourself in that space. So the amount is gonna be $350, right? And the $350 is gonna be two payments and it's gonna be of $350 each. The reason we do two payments is exactly what I said, a two-pay. Now, if you wanted to make it where it has to be paid in 2 weeks, you can do that. You can also do yearly, and you can also do any custom dates as far as a variety of dates that you're looking for. But in our case, we're gonna do monthly, two payments. I raised the price to $350, which again, $100 more than paying now because I wanna make sure I cover myself just in case the person decides not to pay, right? So we're gonna add that second option. And I'm just gonna go back here onto the name and I'm gonna put $350, two payments of $350, all right? Because obviously if they pay all together now, I wanna give them basically, like I wouldn't say a discount, but they're gonna get a better price if they do it all now, right? I'm gonna go ahead and hit save. Now, the reason this is important is because we're gonna come back to this a little bit later on for you to fully understand how we kind of put this all together. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create the actual product. So I know where my course is at. I know what I'm gonna be able to charge people. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually go to the members area and set the members area up. Now, when I go into members and memberships, there's a couple of things here that I wanna make sure you understand. The membership area inside of HighLevel itself, it's its own separate area, meaning it has its own basically part of HighLevel that is not included into your main area. So in here, things like kind of live in a different plane of existence if you kind of want to make sure you understand how that works. So in here, if I already had, let's say, a funnel built or a website built where I'm selling my course and I have a domain with that funnel and with that particular website, I can't use the same domain in the members area because the members area is completely separate. So what I usually want to do here is when I come in here and I'm setting up my members area for the first time, there are a couple of things that are really important that I want to make sure you understand. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my client portal. So I'm going to go to client portal and I'm going to go to settings. And remember, the client portal is the way I want you to think that it's basically its own area that exists that is able to have everything that we need to design our membership part of HighLevel. So first thing we're going to do is we want to give our membership area its own domain. So I'm going to go to domain setup. And as you can see, there's already one in here that says portal.automatedmarketer.live. But again, for the instance of kind of understanding and knowing what to do here, I'm going to go ahead and modify this and I'm going to put in a new one and I'm going to call it courses, members. We like portal, but I'm going to do it differently for you now. And one we're using here is automatedmarketer.live. Okay, and I just want to make sure I spell that right because if not, it won't record properly. I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. When I hit continue, if I have Cloudflare or GoDaddy, it's going to go ahead and ask me to go in there and add the record. Now, I know that I have Cloudflare for some odd reason it didn't pick it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up another tab and I'm going to go ahead and log in for you guys. And then we're going to go ahead and add the record. Now, depending on what domain provider you have, some people are going to have Bluehost, some people are going to have SiteGround, some people are going to have WordPress. This might look a little different for you. I can't cover all those different ones because there's about 1,000 of different domain providers out there, and each one of them is going to be a little different. The only thing you have to know is you have to add what's called a domain record, a DNS record, in order for your site to be seen by HighLevel and by the internet. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. We're going to add a record that allows us to have a separate domain for our website, okay? And it can't be the same domain that I'm using right now. And I'll introduce you what a subdomain and a regular domain is so you guys understand the difference, okay? So let me go ahead. Now I'm inside of Cloudflare and the first thing I want to do is go over to the left-hand side. And depending on which one you're looking at as far as your domain provider, you're either looking for your DNS zone editor, your DNS records, or just DNS altogether. Each one might be a little bit different. All you have to do is find out where you add your records and go from there. Now, I want to explain something that's really important for you all to understand. If you're already using, let's say your main domain is nuno.com. If I'm using nuno.com and I have my website on it, I can have my members area on it also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create what's called a subdomain in order to make a space inside my domain for my members area. This is why we're doing members.yourdomain.com, because what I've done there by creating members is I created what's called a subdomain. So for instance, I have already a microgreens.automatedmarketer.live subdomain, and now I'm making a members.automatedmarketer.live for my members area. So the first thing you're gonna do, no matter which one you have, is find where you can add a record. I'm gonna hit add a record. The type is going to be a CNAME record, and the name, which is gonna be the subdomain, is going to be members. Okay, and then the target required is if you come over here and you hit copy, I'm gonna paste that right here and it's gonna have this client portal.ludicrous.cloud. Okay, and the other important thing that I wanna make sure I do is in Cloudflare and only Cloudflare, there's gonna be something called a proxy status. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn that off and I'm gonna go ahead and hit save. Now that I've hit save, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back over here and I'm gonna hit verify records. Now, as long as I spelled the domain correctly, this should take a few minutes to verify, and you know it's good because all of a sudden it'll say verified, and now you have a domain particular just for your members area / portal area for your customers. All right, so we're gonna give this a few seconds. And just like that, this became automatically here. I got a little pop-up on the top right-hand side that says your domain's been updated. And now I actually have a domain that I can leverage right in here. Now, this domain will be very important later on when we create automations, because this is where we're gonna send our clients after they created their username and password when we go through that process. Now that we set up our domain, this part is set. The next thing we want to do is go to app permissions. Now, what's really crazy about what HighLevel's been updated in the last several years is that they've made this a client portal where a person can see the communities they're part of, all the courses they're part of. If they're affiliates, they can see their affiliates. If they have subscriptions, they can see the subscriptions, contracts, and estimates if they've done those things. The other thing it allows you to do is share files in there, but this is more files associated with your affiliates that are promoting your course. Now, the affiliate part in this is basically if you want somebody to start selling your course on your behalf, they'll have the ability to do that, but you have to kind of like set up the affiliates, and this will be a separate video altogether. Now, in here, you'll also have the ability of setting the default landing page that your customer, once they enter to your portal, is where they're going to start. Now, if you're planning on having a community like we are in this case, and having affiliates and courses, you want people going to the home, because then they will have the ability of selecting which part they want to go to. Do they want to go to the community? Do they want to go to the course area? Do they want to go to the affiliates? Whatever it is, they'll have the ability of doing that. Some of you might like them just going directly to the course. So whichever one you choose, just understand if they go to home, they're going to go to see all the choices that they have. If they're going to go to courses, they're going to go automatically to the courses and then kind of decide from there. So in this particular case, we are going to go to courses and we're going to go ahead and save settings. Hey, we want to interrupt this video for a quick little minute to just let you know that I hope you're enjoying this video. We want to thank you for being here, but more importantly, we are hoping that this content helps you do whatever you're trying to do inside of HighLevel. We also want to let you know that you have options to get additional help. We offer a $197 a month VIP coaching program that includes 4 days of office hours, first come, first serve, with Andy or myself, where we go in and we answer any of your questions that you might have live with a group setting for other people that are also working in HighLevel. We also have a VIP group where we answer questions directly one-on-one with anybody posting in that group to give you the absolute best support. It also comes with a bunch of other features, including our funnel brick system, our little mini course, and more importantly, a couple guides that'll help you through this, and also including our SOP library that we use for pretty much everything inside of our agency. So thank you for this quick little minute, but more importantly, go back to the video, get whatever you need, and if you have any questions that we can answer inside the video, just drop a comment on the video and we'll make sure to answer whenever we get a chance. And now back to the show. The next part that we're going to go to is come out of settings, all right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to email settings right in here. Now in email settings, you're going to notice that I have the client portal where there's basically to notify members about their invoices, estimates, and their contracts. Again, this is the feature of the portal more so than the course area. You have the communities area where there is a ton of different posts or things that they can do based on when somebody does whatever they need to do. And there's default templates that you can preview and you can also modify by, well, some where you can pick your own to do that. I'm not going to go into a full course in that because we typically don't use these, especially when it comes to courses, and we can go back to courses and kind of like talk about it later on. Now, inside of course areas, there are two that automatically come checked in. I am actually going to turn them off because I'm going to show you how to create automations that are a little bit better and give a better experience overall than these two sign up and offer access emails. Now, when it comes to new comments in courses and new course materials, I'm going to kind of leave it the way it is, and then we can always modify a little bit later on. Now, you can also see the default for the dripping and all that, and I'll cover that when we're building out the course. And then I'm going to go to certificates. Now, certificates are not built inside of here. I'll show you where they're built up in here because it's going to be under this top part up here. But if you want to issue a certificate for somebody that completes your course, you can go ahead and build those into your course. And we're going to go over that in a second also. But again, what we're doing is basically building the frame, and then customization is going to be possibly a different kind of, video altogether, or it's just going to be something that you're going to explore on your own, right? So I got it over here where we have credential expired. These are all the defaults that are kind of preset. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave the email settings the way they are. The only two that I turned off, again, just so everybody understands, is I went to courses and I turned off the send and the offer. This is critical because we're going to do some automations that are going to be a little bit different, and I want to make sure you turn those off. All right. And right after that, I'm going to come out of settings. I'm going to also go into branding. Now, your membership portal is basically where people are going to log in. I'll show you a little bit of a preview a little bit later on, but I want to make sure you fully understand. Everything in here, you want to kind of customize to the best of your ability. And a little customizations, you don't have to really go far out, but you can create background images, you can create portal images, and it gives you the size and the ratio of what these things are going to be. All right. And again, it gives you the size and ratio of all the things you want it to be in here. Now, this is going to create a login screen that is going to basically be when somebody logs in with their username and password, this is the first screen they're going to see. Again, I'm not worried too much about it, but we'll just kind of go over it. Portal name is what they're going to see when they first log in. I'm going to put membership portal. I could even put like AM membership portal so everybody knows. Flip some more, a portal description. We're going to say, all right, automated marketer, and we're just going to put courses. All right, yours could be a little bit more draftier than that. And obviously you want to make sure you spell things right because apparently I don't know how to spell marketer. My color is a dark blue, but I also want to do a deep red. And then it asked me for the favicon. Favicon is going to be that little tiny image right there. I had one, for this example, so I put it in there. Now this right here is the max image and what they're expecting, a 1920 by 2160 image. Now, I don't have any of them on hand, so it's kind of hard for me to have anything here. But what you could do is you can download it, you can do whatever you want, and then you can do the same thing with the logo in there. And again, support email, definitely important for you to have it in there, just in case anybody has a hard time getting there. And again, market, you want to make sure it's spelled right, okay? And then your copyright and your actual name in there. And then for anybody that's really good at CSS and wants to put tracking on there and everything else, you click on that advanced that you saw right in here. And this is where your CSS code and everything else will go in. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save settings. Again, you can customize this as much as you want. We'll see this when we log into the page when we're testing, so you can kind of see it for yourselves. All right. So this whole membership area kind of branding for now is done. All right, so I'm going to go back to settings. We are going to go to our app permissions we already did. We already did the domains. We have everything pretty much, and now the language settings is going to be in English. I think we have some good languages in there. More is adding, but if you wanted to make it where it's very language specific, you can. So we set up our domain, we set up our app permissions, we got the branding, we got the email settings down, and we even did our languages, so we're good to go. The next step that we're gonna do is we're gonna go to credentials, and credentials is basically gonna be certificates that you wanna create for your individual courses if you wanna create them. Now, what you can do is you can come in here and hit create. You can create a certificate or a badge for your member. This is kind of new based on that. So we're gonna create a badge, and we can do from a template that's in here. As you can see, these are all the different badges that they automatically provide you. You can also upgrade your own. We're gonna put one that's gonna be, I don't know, we're gonna put trainer provided, I don't know, whatever that is. And you can come in here and you can automatically come in here and add a different design logo, change the lettering in here, change the stars, do whatever you want to do and kind of make it. And we can put this new member badge, okay? And we can go ahead and hit save. And you can send this to recipients, have a default template and so forth and so on. And you can give badges based on that. Now, there are automations coming. We'll talk about that. I don't know how close they are to be ready, but if you want to start building up your badges, you can. Also, if you want to create a certification that happens when they complete the course, you can also do that. So we got the badge, all right? Let's now look at certificates. You come in here and again, you have templates. I'm just going to pick a template for now, but again, you can create your own, design your own. This is not a full design session. I just need to make sure you understand where all of this is so you can go back here and you can customize. So we're going to say Nuno's high-level course, and we're going to say, well, we're just going to put a completion, right? Okay. Just so we have it. And again, you can customize the layout, make it all different. Maybe we put that background in there, specialize the headers, the background. You can do patterns, you can do images, and there's a couple of them that they give you. And again, you can put a little badge or certification thing in here. You could sign it. I mean, there's tons of things you can do here. You could take your time with it too, and then just come back and do it. For now, we're just going to go ahead and leave the badge in here because we are going to leverage some of these things a little bit later on. And what's really cool about it, if you issued certificates for a particular person, you're going to be able to track them here. You also have an export CSV of all the people that have earned your badges and your certificates, which again, come very in handy later on, right? So we created our certificate, we have the courses, and now what we're gonna do is we are gonna go straight into our settings first because there's a couple things here that I wanna make sure you set up first. Now, site details, as you know, we've already kind of done the portal. We have the members dot, that's pretty cool. If you wanna add some brandings and logos to those areas, you can do the same thing in here. So for instance, we're gonna do automated marketer. This is if they directly go into the course area, okay? And the logo, same thing. It gives you the image sizes right in here. So I don't have an image right as of now, but you would choose your file, you would upload an image, and we can always go back to see what it looks like later on. And again, same thing for the dimensions. And this is a very important one. Some people want their courses to be downloaded. I personally do not, so I leave this off. But for instance, if you wanted your members to always be able to download videos, and mostly this is about the videos, from there you can turn this on. I personally only leave this off. I made a mistake about 2 years ago where we left this on and our site was completely and utterly hacked and our entire course was all over the internet, which was really upsetting, but just don't make that same mistake. So I'm gonna leave it the way it is and I'm gonna go ahead and hit save. Now, remember, the first one we did was client portal. Now we're in the course settings. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to settings. Again, the domain setup is done, so we don't have to do that because it's already got the portal and the course settings areas here, the same offer in here. So we're going to kind of leave that alone. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to email settings. We've already set those up, so that's also good to go. And then we're going to come back over here to settings again one more time. And the coolest and most important one that a lot of people don't know about is you can go into app settings. Now, what some people don't understand is this is what's called a progressive web app. So make believe you wanted to make your course like a mini app that you can have on a cell phone. So the way that HighLevel does this in a very cheap and easy way is if you enable PWA, you come in here, you give it a name, right? So we're going to name it Automated Marketer, or AM for short, whatever you need. You definitely don't want to make it bigger because this is going to be what's going to be shown on there. Then you give it a short name. We're just going to say AM. All right, description, I wouldn't even worry about it. The recommended logo size is going to be an icon, and you want to definitely do it by the specs, and you need both. So when you select this particular image, you're going to do it in those sizes and usually make it a logo. Then you're going to select color palettes. As you can see, there's not a lot of choices, but you can see kind of the effect that it's going to have. Why is this important? Well, what this will do is when somebody goes ahead and, gets your course and they click on the link to go to their, let's say, website, what will happen is when they click on that link, if they're using their cell phone, the cell phone is going to ask, would you like to open this and save this icon to be, a favorite? And what you're going to do is you're going to hit yes. When you do that, it will create like a little saved, let's say, icon on there that will almost act like its own app. It's called the Progressive Web App because all it did is give it a different format and allow people to log in directly into like the website version of this app. And it makes it very user-friendly because it makes things very phone-friendly into doing this. It's completely free. There's no additional cost. And all you have to do is set this up and it will automatically do that. Now, if some people have things that block on their phones, this will not enable this. But I would say the majority of people, their phones do allow this to do. It works on Apple and iPhone. And all it is a saved icon that goes to the web version of the course that then in turn makes it look like a web application more so than anything else. That's why this PWA stands for Progressive Web App, because all it is the same course it is in the desktop, but they just converted the formatting to be about the mobile app. And it's cheaper than actually going out there and creating your own app. Completely free. Recommend you turn this on. Absolutely takes all of 5 seconds. You just have to have your logos in those dimensions ready and fill out this and pick the color. Now, you can't customize the colors too greatly on this, but again, what it does and how much money this would normally cost if you wanted to make something like this an app is drastically different, and it comes free with the course and the program and everything you're building out here. So I would take advantage of it if I was you. All right, so let's go back to settings and ensure that we completed the whole entire thing. And actually, let me go up top and make sure that this is all saved. We're good to go. I hit OK. Now, we did all this stuff in here, so we're ready to go. Now, the most important part is obviously creating your course. Now, what's crazy is, and the way that HighLevel named their things, they named it products in here. Products in the course area means courses. And I want you to not get it confused with products that we created earlier on. Those products we created earlier on are the ability of creating the products in here, and they work pretty well. And I want to make sure you understand that. Don't get the two confused. Products in the course area, which is the area inside of memberships, is called products, and this should really be called courses. Don't know why they did it that way, but just understand there's a little bit of confusion and people get confused all the time. I'm going to go ahead and hit products, and these are the list of all the products I currently have. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the right-hand side and I'm going to create a product from scratch. Now in here, you're going to get all these. Honestly, I've been doing this for years. I have no idea why they put this in here. I'm just going to build your own. I'm going to start building. And this is going to be Nuno's high-level course. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and create product. When I create product, this is what I get. All right. And this is going to be very important. We're going to go through all of these so you guys fully understand what's going on. Now in here, let's just start from the left and we're going to go to the right. The outline is basically the breakdown of the way your course is going to be. Now, the way I usually build, and this is important for you to understand, is I create 1 or 2 categories or several categories, then I create the lessons in each category. If you do it this way, though, it does seem a little broken up, and I'll show you what the final result is so you can kind of understand. And we're going to build a couple of these out, but mostly sometimes I actually just do 1 category and I put all the files in order. I'm going to show you both ways, and then you make the decision that you want, like the way this thing looks. So the first thing we're going to do is create a couple categories and some fake lessons and show you the different places where things go. So I'm going to come over here and you'll see product structure, blank category, blank post. If I want to use the category, I click on the category, and the first category we're going to have is start here. Okay. And it's going to be the root category. And the description for now is going to be start here. And the content is going to be basically the area in it. Now, if I click on any of these areas, what will happen is I will lose what I just built right in here. So first what I do is I come in here and I build all this out. So the start here, root category, go to the thumbnail. It's going to ask me to upload. I'm just going to pick any thumbnail in here, which is a picture of me and Alex Ramosi. All right. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit save. And notice it's published. there is a very important thing that if you have it on draft, you won't be able to see it. Now that I picked the first category, I might have a video inside that category, and that's going to be my first lesson. This is going to be the Start Here lesson. So I clicked on the blank post, and now this is going to be where I set up my videos, my giveaways, everything, my files, everything that I want in here. So I'm going to do the title. This is going to be the Start Here, which I always recommend everybody having, lesson 1. Okay. I'll upload a video. I don't know if I have any, but notice you have either a Loom video you can do an embed code, or you can do my device. By the way, this is all changed. And remember, the file size is going to be less than 5 gigabytes. It's going to be 16 by now. Now that 5 gigabytes is per video. So each lesson can have a video up to 5 gigabytes, which is really, really good. All right. And then I have either a link like a Loom video, or I have an embed code that's coming from a different system, or I have my device, which means that HighLevel will host it natively. So if I want HighLevel to host it natively, all I got to do is click on my device. I come in here and I go to, I don't know if I have any videos just yet, but like I know I have them in my Google Drive, and we'll do some edited. And if I do forms and surveys, something like this, I'm going to go ahead and hit upload. It does take a minute to upload because depending on the size of the file, if it's a very big file, this will happen. Now, I do recommend that you do split up very big files, because what happens is the longer the file, it's really hard to watch on the phone, and it depends on the person's internet connections, that if the file is way, way too big, it will slow down the system and you might have some trouble. Again, just learning from experiences, this is something you want to consider. If you host it on, let's say, Vimeo, Wistia, YouTube for free, just know that any YouTube video you put on here will also show other people's videos. So you got to be really careful with that. So it really depends how you want to do it. I keep to files that are in the 1 gig, 2 gig format, because anything bigger than that, you are going to start seeing a little bit of a slow speed. Again, not on you, but more depending on the person's kind of internet connection. Okay. So we're going to let that load for a second, because it is going to take, because I want you to see what it looks like. All right. It's uploaded the video, and now I can add subtitles for it. You can actually upload a file, or you can drag it into here. So anybody that doesn't know, you can get service like rev.com or whatever else to basically create these files, and then you can upload them, and then you'll have some closed captions on here. Now, for anybody that wants to use a frame into a thumbnail, you can just go ahead and take this frame that's here, use it as current thumbnail, hit confirm, or you can slide to whatever one you have and then make it that way, right? So I have it here. You can come in here, and again, we have it under the Start Here lesson, under the categories. If, let's say, I had a file like a Google or a Word doc and everything else, or a PDF or any other kind of file, including audio, I can go ahead and add the files in here and have it automatically in there. And then once this is set to go, I can go ahead and come in here and then just hit save, but something is preventing me from not hitting save. So I'm going to just come over here and type something in the description, Start Here, and now we have save. So title, category, description, files over on the right. I can use a current frame or upload and replace whichever thumbnail I want to put in there. And again, the sizes are always on the images. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and I got my first lesson. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my second lesson. So I have my first lesson in here. Let's make believe it's Start Here Part 2. So what I'm going to do is, if I want to add another lesson in here, I come in here and I add a lesson. I can also add a subcategory, an assessment, or add the credential right then and there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add a lesson. This is going to be Start Here, and I'm going to go ahead and hit save and go into the draft and hit edit right around here. And then in here, same thing. I have the chance of uploading a video like an MP4. Okay, so now what we're going to do is upload another video. So I'm going to come over here, and again, I can do embed, I can do a link. I'm going to come over here, click on this, and I'm just going to pick hopefully a really short one that I can find. Yeah, we'll pick that one. That one is going to go over and it's going to start uploading. I'm going to hit upload. And when it uploads, it's going to be the secondary video. And then I'm going to create a different category so you can kind of see the way it is. Now I'm going to give this a couple minutes to upload. All right, different videos uploaded. Again, we're going to go a little further down just to have a different thumbnail. I'm going to use this current frame. So now that particular frame, again, really nice feature that you can do that. This is now going to be published, and I'm going to do start lesson here. And this is going to be, oh, sorry, actually the category is right. And this is Start Lesson Part 2. Take that, drive it in here. Maybe this time I want to add a particular file. So I'm going to hit little cloud service, go to my most recently downloaded, and I'll do this image right here. Maybe this image was important, and we'll hit upload. Boom, and there you go. Now I have another one altogether, and now I actually have an attached file that people can see. I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and then I'm going to create a different category so you guys can see the main categories, what they look like, because it's going to be very important to know whether or not you're going to make one category with all the lessons or separate categories with multiple lessons. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit back to product. And then the next thing I'm going to do is create the second category, and then we're going to kind of take a look at it. Now, I got to go back to product structure if I want to create another category. So I'm going to come over here and let's just call this high level basics. Okay, come in here, hit save. Awesome. I'm going to come over here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another category. And this is going to be, I don't know, we'll do forms and survey. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And then on here, I have to make this category published. And then in the forms and surveys, I'm now going to edit the lesson. I'm going to come over here and edit the lesson. All right, and again, same thing as before. We're going to upload a video. So again, my device, come in here, go down, and I'm just going to try to see if I can find, I'm trying to find something a little bit less huge because it does take a minute for these things to go through. All right, I'm going to take a minute just to do this so then it saves on time here. All right, again, that's a horrible image. So let's just go a little bit more in here. I'm going to hit upload. Oh, not upload, but if I wanted to upload, I could. So if I want to come in here and upload some images, let's go to my downloads area right here. This one right here with me and Andy, which is a great image. I'm going to hit upload. Boom, look at that. And again, this is going to be forms and surveys. And then I'm just going to do lesson 1. For the sake of showing you guys, lesson 1, part 2. All right, copy that. Come in here. Boom. Again, if I wanted to add files, I could. I'm going to go ahead and hit publish. I'm going to hit save, and we're ready to rock and roll. Now, the craziest part about this is I kind of wanted to show you what this looks like in the preview area. And I'm going to show you where to customize a few of these things to make the course look a little nicer. Now, again, I can't go into the full customization because we can spend hours on there, right? So I'm going to go back to product, all right? Because now we have a good portion of everything in here. Now let's take a look at the preview or what the basic area looks like without any customization. So you could see how the categories are here in a different place. This is what the course area looks like without any customization. Again, we're going to go back in there and show you a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and hit the start here button. And this is what my customer will see. Notice that the logo's up here, the name is up here, and this is what the course would look like for the customer in here with all the lessons directly in here on the start here. If I click on the next category, it goes to the next lesson. And if I click on this lesson, because I don't have no others, it's not going to show any other upcoming videos in there. What's really cool about this is if you write a really great transcription or description of your actual website, you could come in here and you could search pretty much everything in here, and the search is pretty darn good. All right, so this is what the customer is going to see, and you can post to the instructor or to the community. So any comments in here will automatically go there. So just understand that that happens. Now that this is done, we also want to click on the course completion. And remember, I already have a custom one that I already have, which is Gohighlevel's course. This is the one I want to apply. When somebody creates and finalizes the completion, they will automatically get this because it was one of those customizable emails that we left on. So whenever somebody completes the entire course, and the way they complete the course is it's important for you to tell them this on your Start Here video is when you click on the Start Here video, if you come in here and you explain all this, the only way they get it, and let me go back to the preview, is they have to hit complete. When they hit complete, then they're going to get credit for the course to actually be complete for all the videos that they watch, but all the videos have to be marked as complete when they do this. So if I click on one of these videos right here, oh no, here we go. Let's try that again. And I go back to the preview and we go to the first video. If I want to mark it that it's been complete, notice that there's also this complete button here. If I come in here, you see, and there is the complete mark as complete button directly in here. Now, again, mind you that this is something you're going to have to instruct people to do, because if not, if they don't have some of these courses completed and they don't have that marked as complete, they're not going to get their certificate at the end, because the certificate for this particular situation only works when the course is actually complete based on that. All right, so we're going to go back and you come in here. Now we're going to go back into the course itself, because the other thing you can add is you can add subcategories, which means instead of breaking it up to where it was divided, where we saw the two little categories, you could create a subcategory in one category and do it that way also. The other thing is you can also add a credential, which again, you can have custom, and guess what you can do now? You can add the badges. So if they complete that course, the second they complete those two things, I automatically can hit the course completion badge, and they can get a badge for that particular lesson. This is brand new, but just understand how these badges work. It's pretty cool. You can also do it with the credentials. Okay, and now what we're gonna do is create an assessment just in case we wanted to add quizzes or assignments. Now, if I click on here and I click add assessment, you have the choice of an assignment or quiz. An assignment is just going to be basically like a document that they're going to be able to download or they're going to take. And a quiz is going to be something like a quiz, right? Like a multiple choice quiz, which is what I recommend. Don't do answer long quizzes because then you can automate the actual responses. So I'm going to put over here and I'm going to put quiz 1. All right. And I'm going to switch this to quiz. I'm going to hit save. And if I go over to the quiz, I'm going to hit edit. And then basically it's got a little bit of formatting, not a lot. This quiz requires a passing grade. Let's say the passing grade is 100%. All right. And then if you want to upload an image, you can. If not, you can leave it blank. In this case, we will. Pass confirmation. Good job. Try again for the fail confirmation. And again, you can write something in here. I can add questions. You can also import through a CSV file, like if you have a list of questions, which is really cool. If you want to use AI, create all your questions, put it in an Excel file, come in here, upload the CSV, and you got all your questions added. Add a question. So we're going to make it a single choice, right? You can also make it multiple choice, but we're going to do single choice. Oh, let's try that again. Well, first a question, sorry. Do you like dogs? Okay, we can add a choice here. The option number 1 is yes, which is the correct option. Then we can add a choice. It'll be no. Okay, and we're just going to add this. This will be it. We'll publish this. We'll make it saved. And now let's take a look. Let's see what this thing looks like, right? So if I come in here, we have the published assignment and we have the quiz in here, right? So if I have the quiz in here and I go from here and I want to preview it, right? If I go over to my first quiz, and again, this is why you can see that weird icon. You can change it to be whatever this icon you want to be. I go ahead and start the quiz. Look, here's my first question. I like dogs. Oh, don't know why it's not working per se. It should allow, I don't know why it's not clicking, but we're not going to waste time on it. But that's the way you would do it. And then once you pass, you should have a message. Now, I'm probably thinking because it didn't save. So let's just come over here and see what happened. Try again. Question 1. I put the correct option is this. Let's just add a different question. I'm wondering it's because single choice. Do you walk your dog? Okay. Add a choice. Yes, it's the correct choice. Add another choice. No, I wonder maybe you have to have more than one question. That'll be interesting. All right. And I'm going to come over here. I'm going to add that choice. Oh, nope. We don't need that choice. So I'm going to delete it. I only want 2. Oh, let's add another choice. So we need at least 2, that's for sure, right? And we're gonna come over here. We're gonna hit save. Let's come back over here to the preview. Let's see if the preview now lets us do it. That was kind of weird that it didn't. All right, let's start quiz again. Let's see if that fixes it. If not, we're gonna move on. There's probably a little error in the system right now. Here we go. So we're gonna go yes, yes. Again, don't know why it does not allow me to submit. It's a weird situation here, but again, we would find out the reason why. But it's probably a little bit of an error, but that's how you would do it. Same thing with assessment. You would put in the assessment. I'm going to show you how to build that out real quick so you see the differences. All right, so back over here to product structure. This time, to start here, we're going to add another assessment. This time is going to be an assignment, book report. Just to give you an idea, right? I'm going to hit save. It would be like something else altogether. And here you would do the same thing. You would come in here and you would upload the document. It's an ungraded assignment. Please download and complete whatever the course might be. Come over here. You can upload the document altogether. So for instance, I can come over here, go to downloads, and I probably have, some crazy document in here. So I'm just going to go for now. I'm just going to put this thing in here. And then when I do it in here, it's the image, blah, blah, blah. Thank you and begin. Something like that, right? We would put again, an image in here if we wanted to. Put this into publish, hit the preview, and this is what the preview would look like. So again, there's a lot of really cool things you can do to make it super easy. Please download it. So again, it's got the download button. I would start the assignment. And then there you go. It's kind of like the way all of this is going to work for you guys. So you can build out your course in kind of the format that you want. All right. So then when you're done, here's your answer, or you can upload the assignment right in here and then hit submit when you're done. All right. So that takes care of that particular part. You saw how it looks like, but now let's talk about the design aspect of it, right? So I have the details, which are basically the image of the actual product thumbnail itself. So if I come in here and I want to upload a new file, we're going to choose the same one that we did right in here. So we're going to upload that. That becomes now the thumbnail of the actual course. And the description will be the description for that course. This will be it. Now you can customize it, putting the head. I can put my instructor image. So if I select the image, upload, and it says 300 by 300. I don't think I have one of those. So I'm just going to do these. There you go. All right. The name of the instructor, Nuno Tavares. This is going to show up on the right-hand side. HL expert, right? Bio. Awesome. All right. And then if I have a particular logo, I can upload a new logo file. And again, I believe I have one here that I can show you guys. So actually, I don't have a logo per se, but I'll just see if I can drop that one. We'll upload that. All right. And then a favicon, I definitely don't have that one. And then you can put some CSS to it. All right, so that gives you the general image for the course itself. Now the customization. Now we have a bunch of different browser templates and you can actually create your own now. So if I come in here, I have all these different templates. I have the Neo theme, I have the New York theme, the classic, and now I can activate an advanced customizer that allows us to do it and gives you a very different look and how you want the things to be. So if I activate that, I'm going to confirm, use that particular template, and I'm going to customize it by clicking customize in the center. And I can select the layout design of the way I want things based on the new template. Now, this is very heavy in customization now to a good extent. More is coming to this. So just understand that this is like the almost like beta version of what this is supposed to be. You could select your color theme, doing whatever you want. So for instance, if I want to select the colors, I can do my base colors, my brand colors, and it'll start doing it based off of this. Oops, sorry. Red, and then I want black. I want the accent colors, that's fine. The text theme, regular, that's fine. The Roboto, the background image. I can change the background image for the entire course itself. Then I can come into the header. I can select the color theme and then search for the base colors and everything else. Icon colors, you see that looks kind of crazy over there. You know, maybe I want white instead. So you got to kind of play with it a little bit, like text theme and the color theme. Like obviously the base colors are really off. So I'm going to have to probably do white. See, that works a little bit better. Again, the hero image is this image right on the top. So show hero, and I can eliminate the hero. So it goes right into the course area. If I want to change the background, I can upload a completed image, or I can just do a color. And this is what I mean by color. See, I can do black. I can do whatever. Course info, the course title, the button to the course, whatever it is, all of this is here. And then the body, you can add blocks like a video block, an image block, a custom block. And you see, this is the way that it could work. And you can go ahead and have the categories looking this way, a bottom if you want like a custom block on the bottom. You can literally go out here and do quite a bit of things. And if you don't like anything, you just hit the three little dots or the custom block in here, or I can reset it, confirm, and it resets back to the basic that was there. And again, you can go ahead and design even the sidebar. You can add instructor, a progress block, and other blocks that you have in here, cross-sell different items, a call to action like clicking on the link, get in touch. All this is new customizable that wasn't there before. So you could definitely take some time to do this, and you can do it with the product page. You can also do it with the actual lesson page, and you can go really bananas in the way you want this thing to look. So again, take your time in doing this. This has got a lot of customization. It's almost like I want you to try and not take my advice on it. And then once you create a template that the way you want your courses to look, you can go ahead and do that. Now, this is a brand new area and feature. So just please understand that this is still up and coming. So it does have a lot of ability, but it does require a lot of know-how and just kind of design and kind of the way you want it to look. But mess around with it. It's obviously not going to cost you anything extra, and you can make the template and design the way that you want. And we're going to leave it at that. Now, the most other important part right now is offers. For every course, you need an offer in order to create automations around it, give people access that buy your course, and so forth and so on. So we're going to create an offer. This is going to be Nuno's High Level Courses. The product, remember, product means course inside of here. And the offer title is Nuno's New Updated Course. Okay. And then we're going to do free, and we're going to do payment. Now, the only reason why I can't put payment options in here is because I don't have a payment area connected. But if you wanted to add a price in there, it would give you an additional option to just selling the course on a random page. Now, we don't recommend that because anybody really truly selling courses, you want to make the courses a little bit separate, and you want to put them through funnels because there's just better conversion rates on there. So just do it the way we're showing you now, because it is going to make it so it's easier for you to do that. Text override is an override when it comes to the price. Now, because we are going to do this through a funnel, we're going to leave this product as free. You can also add money to it. It doesn't matter. But just, again, the reason I can't, there would be a payment option where you can set prices in here is because I'm going to do it through a funnel, not in this area in here. I don't want to sell my course through a course area. I want to sell it through a funnel. So the way we're doing it now is just a better way, again, from a lot of trial and error. So just do it the way that we're telling you. And then we're going to create the offer and we're going to publish it. Biggest mistake we see people make is when they create the offer, they don't create or they don't publish it. They leave it in draft. And you want to make sure you publish it. And here we are. You can create a description. You already got the product that's going to be. If you wanted to have multiple products, I can add multiple products in here, and I can go ahead and confirm it. And now I can add this as a bundle offer, what includes many products, not just one. And I'm going to go ahead and hit publish. All right. Once I hit publish, if I wanted to make a price, I can go ahead and do a one-time payment, or reoccurring. Again, this is why I like doing the other one, because it allows me a little bit more freedom of creating 2-pay, 3-pay, and so forth in there. And if I want my course access to begin on a certain date for everybody, I would go ahead and begin the access at a certain day. And I could also restrict the access, meaning this is a one-time offer. They only get like 30 days of it. I don't know why you could do something like that, but you could. And then I got to give the offer the same image that I want to give to my actual course, like that there's no confusion on which offer it is for what product. And I'm just going to put the description right in here. I'm going to make sure this is public. And again, it says I don't have any payment connectors, so this is off, right? So this is all said and done. I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and you're ready to go. Now, if you had a payment connector and you wanted to sell your course in the course area, which again is not the way we recommend, you would come in here, you would hit edit checkout, and this would be the particular checkout and just a checkout for the course area for all of this. And again, people will just put in their email, their full name, and proceed to checkout, give you a payment, and they're in the course. Again, some people like to do this, but you would have to then fill in the offer details, probably create a little bit of a different banner. Again, you're very limited on what you can do on this page. Extra contact information and a service agreement to include in here. But again, don't recommend this way. Rather you do it the other way. But if you wanted to do it this way, you have to have a payment connector. You would set the price, get the link, give it to people, and then the link after, as soon as they pay, your course automations would still fire the way we're going to build them out in the automations, and then they'll get it, right? So we have the courses, we have everything else here, like when we created our offer. Now let me just go over analytics. Again, I just want to make sure you know that this exists. You could check the course progress of everybody that's inside of your course to see how far people are getting. You can see the assessments, and you can do member analytics based on them going in there and track the profiles of users and learners in there. And if you're doing the one-time purchase like I showed you just right now, you can click on review analytics and it will actually show you how much revenue made based off of users sending the one link out. Now, again, anybody that's creating the courses this way, you can also create the one link offer. But again, the automations are a little like they just won't work as right if you're creating a lot of automations, if you're using that version versus this one. Again, and that's just my opinion. You can go ahead and try it. And if it works out better for you, it works out better for you. Now, in here, we have the full memberships, the communities, and everything else we'll get to in another kind of area. And now what I want to do is go kind of like the basic funnel setup for a course, so you guys could go out there and kind of build your own, and we'll make it super simple. And again, I'm just going to make pages. I'm not really going to customize them because I want to make sure that you see how that's done and where we put the offers and how we create the automations. All right. So now we're going to go over to sites, and I'm going to use a templated website because I want this to be super easy. So I'm going to create a folder first. I'm going to label it 00, and I'm going to put Nuno's new high-level course. Okay, I'm going to hit confirm. Inside of the folder, we clicked on it, and we're going to click the new funnel, and I am going to do it from a template. I'm going to hit continue, and we're going to see if there's a course template out there that we can leverage. So I'm going to type in course. All right, life creator course, whatever. We really honestly don't care because the way it's set up is what I more care about, right? This is develop a mindset. This is a course. I'm going to hit continue, and I'm going to show you how we're going to design it. Now, again, it's not a design area. You guys can build out your own course. There's also a template we sell in our template shop that will help you do this, but I'm going to make it super simple. So again, we can just have this out and about. Now in here, what we're going to do is we're going to create a button that's basically going to take them to a different page. That's going to be the order form page, right? And we're going to change this instead of saying lead magnet to being like the sales page. So first, let's come out of there and let's create the structure of the way we usually design it. So we first create a sales page where you're going to be selling your course, and you can customize it. There's so many examples of them out there. Take your favorite course creator, come in here and design it the same way. Do a little funnel hacking just to make it easy. All right. And that's the way you want to do it there. All right. So we have this as a temporary lead magnet, but we're going to modify it a little bit, right? So what I'm going to do is on where it says lead magnet, this is going to be the life creator course. We're going to change the settings, and we're going to first change the name. This is going to be Nuno's high-level course. Okay. And here I'm just going to put HL course, okay, and main. And the reason we do that is this becomes the funnel path. Now, I have a domain, but I'm not going to leverage it yet because I don't want this live. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change those two things, change the name of it, and I'm going to hit save. And this is going to change the name of the funnel. All right. So that's going to be Nuno's high-level course. Now I'm going to change the page title and the publishing. So I'm going to click on lead magnet, and then I'm going to go to publishing. This is going to be Nuno's high-level course sales page. Okay. And then I'm going to again go over here. I got to make the path different than the one I just did in the funnel, because if they're alike, it's going to add a whole bunch of crazy numbers to it. So I'm going to add high-level course, Nuno, and I'm going to put main, or maybe LCN. All right. Just the initials. and we want to make sure we sell page. All right. And now it's going to change to the sales page. The other thing I'm going to do is create an order form page, but I want to keep the same design. So what I'm going to do is, you see this page right here. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to clone funnel step, clone this funnel step right here in the left-hand side. And then it's going to create a very similar page that's going to have everything already that I've created with the first page, which makes it a whole easier. Now I'm going to come over here to publishing, Nuno's HighLevel course, and I'm going to put order page. Okay. And I'm just going to put HLC, whatever I wrote before, and I'm just going to put order at the end of it. So again, it's a different URL. So then when I create this and make this live, I have nothing else matching it. Because if I have something matching it, what's going to happen is it's not going to register and it's going to add a whole bunch of numbers to the end of my link, which I don't want. So then I'm going to move that over. Now, mind you, this created at the end. I'm going to move it as a second spot because it goes from sales page to order page and then to the confirmation thank you page. So I'm going to go ahead and hit thank you. I'm going to hit publishing. And here I'm going to put Nuno's sales page, thank you, or order confirmation, however you want to do it. And then here I'm going to do HighLevel course N, right? That's what we used. And TY for thank you. You can spell it out. It doesn't matter. But again, this has to be different from the top one, the middle one, and the one I did in settings. So then it doesn't get any weird numbers at the end of it. So I'm going to hit update. Awesome. And I got my 3 pages that are needed. Now, the first page needs to have buttons that go to the second page. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm not going to customize all the pages. All I'm doing right now is looking for the buttons that are going to push it to the next page. I would come in here and I would customize all this, make it super nice, whatever you want. But anywhere I see a button right now, because the button is what's going to push people to buy, I'm going to do, instead of opening a pop-up, I'm going to do next step, which is the order form, hit save, scroll down. Don't worry about that part right now. Come over here, go to the button again. And you know I selected button because it says button. And I'm going to, instead of saying open pop-ups, it goes to the next step. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. All right. I would hit publish if I want it to be live, but I'm going to hit save no matter what. And I'm going to go in there. When I try to exit, you're going to notice something called SEO metadata. I'm going to go over that towards the last part. But now what I want to do is I want to go to the order page where I'm going to go ahead and order the product and pay the product. But in order for me to have the product here so people can buy it, I have to add the payment. Remember the ones we created really early on their payments? I need to add those 2 products. One was the payment plan and one was the regular product. So I'm going to hit add product. I'm going to go find those products, which is Nuno's HighLevel's course. And remember, I created 2 prices, the all-in-one price and then the secondary price. So I'm going to come to the secondary price, click the $597, add the product name, and then hit save. That's product number 1. If I wanted to add a secondary product, I come in here and I go to HighLevel course again, price number 2, and I have it in there and I'm going to hit save again. Now I got both products in there. I'm ready to rock and roll. But now I still got to go to the page and put in an order form so people can add the actual products, give us their information and process their wallet. Now, in order for you to have any course sales or to have actually product sales, you need to connect a payment provider, which again is done in another video. But honestly, it's really super easy. You go back to payments, you go to integrations, and you just pick whichever way that you want to basically sell your product. We recommend Stripe because it's easier. PayPal can get a little complex and it doesn't work for certain situations. You have authorize.net, which you can connect any payment provider, but literally all you have to do is sign into Stripe, connect it, create your own account, and you're ready to rock and roll, right? So let's go back to sites. In sites, let's go back to our funnel. And in our funnel, let's go to our order form, right? Our order form is going to be right here. Now we have to modify this page because we took the page that was there originally, and now all we want to do is put basically an order form right in the middle for people to make their order, right? So I'm going to get rid of all these other sections. So I'm just going to delete, and I'll leave the footer. I'll get rid of the button because we're there now. I'll get rid of whatever that form thing was. And I'll just say something like, buy your course here. Obviously, it would be a lot better words that I would use. But this is, again, is just an example how to build all this out. And then what I would do is I would come in here and I will do order form. And now I have a choice, a 1-step or a 2-step. A 2-step allows me to do what's called an abandoned cart because the first part of the form allows me to put all the buyer information. The second part of the form is where people are going to put all the product information. The only time you would use a 2-step is if you want to collect the abandoned cart, but if you just want to sell something outright, you would do the 1-step. For this particular case, because we are going to show you how to do some abandoned cart automations towards the end of this video, I'm going to go ahead and do the 2-step. And in here, you're gonna notice that the order form just appeared. Now, with the order form, there's a lot of things you can do with the order form as far as customizing it. Now, when you click on the individual item, notice that if I click on first column, the first column appears. If I click on this text, the headline appears here on the right. If I click on the order form appears on the right to customize. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just check a few things in here. On the sale actions is what do I wanna do after somebody buys? I want them to go to the next page because on the thank you page, I'm going to give them some instructions on what to do next. Now on the form options, notice because I selected the two-step order form, the first part, getting all your information, the second part, getting all your payment information, we have this here. Since this is a course, I really don't need shipping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put your information here. Now, if I did have shipping, I would leave shipping alone. And you see how it has the subheadline, where should we ship it to? Sometimes I don't really need that, so I'll get out of that. If I'm not selling to companies or I'm selling to the consumer, I also hide the company name, all right? And I have name, email, and phone number in order to do that. Now, if I don't want to show phone number or collect phone number, I take that out. If I do want to have it, I have it. No matter what, you need at least an email or a phone number. I actually recommend you getting both, but just understand that's there. If I'm planning on going international, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick a country picker and let people select their countries because it just makes it easier for the phone to understand that and go from there. Now, toggle shipping. If I don't need the address, I can turn that off. I can also do address and just not have the word shipping in there because maybe I need it to validate, for Stripe or for the payment provider that I'm using, they require address. So you can leave it where it turns it off by just going here and hiding shipping. And now you have a really small order form. Or you could show shipping and have it there. The other thing that we have is the autocomplete address. This is a paid feature. You will get charged, I think it's like a cent every time or whatever it is. You could turn this on or off. I usually leave it on if I am collecting address because it does include and better accuracy. But in this case, I'm selling a course. I don't really need the address and my payment provider Stripe does not at this point in time require address. Now in here, if I wanted to have people order, we have the ability of order more than one, meaning make believe I'm having like a shirt and I'm doing a funnel on shirts or, protein powder or whatever it is. And I want them to have the ability of ordering more than one, I would enable cart mode. If I do not, which in most cases when you're doing a course, I return this off. Now, product information and price information, this is only for reoccurring products. This will be for just when they're gonna get charged, how often, and so forth and so on. This will actually show for the products provided. Now, for anybody that doesn't understand what an order bump is basically another product that you will have that goes along with your product, right? So make believe I'm offering a high-level course and I want it for $16 extra. People can download a checklist. That's called an order bump. And I can put that order bump in the order form page as a check mark. I'm gonna show you how to do that after we create the funnel so you can kind of see how it all goes. All right, so we're gonna leave that off for now and then come back to it. If I wanna enable coupon codes, I can turn that on or I can turn that off. I'm gonna leave it off. And if I wanna enable terms and service, meaning they have to agree to the terms and service by checking this box. If they don't check the box, they will not be able to purchase. I recommend actually doing a terms and service so people can read and make sure that this is definitely what they want to do and so forth and so on. It just protects you a little bit later. And this is basically everything that you can do inside the order form. But this is only the first part. Remember, in a two-step, you have the first part where I collect all their information, meaning just their personal information. The second part is going to be the payment information. Now in here, instead of saying your info, I'm going to put your billing information. All right, upgrade order and save is done, so I'm gonna remove that. And edit shipping details, I'll be edit personal information if they wanna go back. So all I'm doing is customizing these little things over here, edit personal information. Like that, you know what they are, right? Now, what gets people so confused is this dynamic item. A dynamic item means that it's only gonna show when the funnel is live. So I can't see the products I added to the funnel, remember in that product section, unless I see this funnel live or in the preview area. So this dynamic element will always be there no matter what you do and change. You can only see the product live. So many people make the mistake is like, where's my product? Where's my product? Your product is there, but only when we preview it after we create the page. All right, so we're gonna leave that there. Everything else is usually, I leave it alone and then complete the order is the button, but you can also change it and you can customize a little bit of this, right? As far as you're 100% safe and secure, this is gonna be the things at the bottom here and you can change it to be whatever message you want. And if you want to enable postal code and country, you can also do that too. And that's pretty much it. I really don't mess with anything else. Everything is good here. You can also change the styles a little bit. You can line the text and do everything else, but it's very limited on what you can do with the order form. You can't add fields because this is being used by the payment provider. And if the payment provider needs to have a secure connection, it won't allow you to add any extra fields. So we get a lot of those questions. Hey, I want to add this customized thing here or this customized thing there. You really can't unless you're doing straight up CSS. And that gets very tricky in order to do that. So it is very limited. I just noticed that I spelled your billing information wrong. So I'm just going to go over there and change that right here. All right. And now we have that going and I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now I'll show you what I mean by providing that. And oh, by the way, that SEO metadata, I'm going to go over that too. That's what keeps popping over on the left, but I'll show you that towards the end. Now, if I go to preview, you're going to see the order form. And if I put some information in here, like Nuno test, all right, and I'm going to put test.com, all right, and I put a 1-800-555-1212, and I agree to the terms of service. When I go to the next page, watch what's going to be here. There's my high-level course, and it's right there, and it's selected. I don't know why the other one, oh, no payment provider found. It won't let me do the order total or the subscription because I don't have an actual collection, but this is where the other product, like the to-pay, would automatically be, right? And the pop-up is there, so we got to make sure we disable the pop-up, and I'll show you how to do that next, because I did copy the page, and all of a sudden we saw that weird pop-up happen. So if you want to disable the pop-up for this particular area, come in here to pop-up sections. You see this whole thing right here, go to pop-up settings and disable pop-up, hit save, and you're ready to rock and roll. Now, remember, I have it going to the next page, and now the next page, we want to make sure that we have just the order confirmation. So I'm now going to go into the last page, which is a thank you page. And this is after I could go back and design all this and make it super pretty. Right now, we're just making a super functional site. Logo's fine. This is all fine. And again, thank you. Your journey to new site starts now. Perfect. This is perfect. I don't even have to do anything. And it could be visit our site, go to the members area, whatever else. And remember, you have a special link for your members area. Because now if I go in here, see, I have this automated marketer, the one we created, and I can have them go to the members area. But if they go to the members area now, what will happen is it's still probably processing. They won't have access. They won't have their username and password. So I don't recommend putting a link in here. What I do recommend is, first step, check your email for access in the next few minutes. Some kind of message like that. Okay, cool. And then we're going to come back out of here. And that is basically it. There's not a lot more that you would need to add to get your basic course out. But remember, I talked about creating an order bump or creating a different product. Well, remember, you can go back in and create, let's say, a giveaway, right? Let's make believe it's like I said, that particular file, like maybe a file of some sort, maybe a booklet, maybe something you want to sell on top of this to help increase your cart value, meaning making every purchase count a little bit more. What you can do is you can go over to the left-hand side, right? Go back to payments and create another product that is your order bump, right? So we go to products and make believe it's, I don't know, we'll do like a one-on-one coaching offer. That's a little too much. Let's just see if we can find like a cool little order bump or whatever it is. Or you know what, better yet, let's create a new product called order bump. All right, this would again be Nuno's high-level course order bump, okay? Put in the description, come over here and, sorry about that. Come over here and the one-time price is like $16 because all it is a checklist. And I'm going to deliver by mail. I'm not going to put it in the members area. All right, make it super simple. I'm going to create the order bump and I'm also going to create a one-time offer. A one-time offer is like maybe a coaching session with Nuno's high-level course one-time offer. This is usually a much higher level item that you sell in another page altogether. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And the one-time offer for this is going to be $5.99 and the compare at price is going to be $10,997. We're just going to make that up. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And we put this as an OTO. One-time offer, which is what it is. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now I'm going to go back to my site because remember, I just added products. I can't sell them if I don't add to the funnel. Now I'm going to go back to my high-level course, click on here. And inside of here, what I'm going to do is on the order form, I'm going to add the order bump, which is that little side items. For anybody that kind of wants to think the logic of this, when you go to a McDonald's drive-thru, you order the burger, the fries, or the add-on. This is the add-on. So it's always a lower priced item. So people, it's like a no-brainer, like, oh yeah, why not just get the checklist? It's only 16 bucks. So I'm going to add products. Remember, we went to overview. I'm in the order form page. So it's wherever your order form page is where you're adding the products. All right. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to add the product. Come in here, select the order bump. That's going to go in here and it's $16, right? The product name is order bump $16. And I have to click additional options and click on the order bump product, and I'm gonna hit save. And mind you, you can have multiple order bumps. You don't only have to have one. And then when you select it, you're gonna now go to the overview page, right? From products, you were in products, we go to overview. I'm gonna go back to edit because now I have to add the order bump to the order form. So I'm gonna go back to my order form. Okay, remember I click on the order form in order to customize it. And in the two-step, I'm gonna go over to enable order bump. And in here, what I can do is I'm gonna add the bump product. I'm gonna select the product, right? And if you don't see the product there, that means you didn't click on that little radio button on the previous step. Now this is gonna be Nuno's HighLevel order bump, okay? Only $16. And then I'm gonna put something like best order bump ever. And I'm gonna add a little bit of an image. All right, we're just gonna add, something like, I don't know, like this, okay? It's got the image and I'm gonna hit save. All right, and this is what it would look like. Like obviously you can come in here and customize the heck out of it, change this to be a little bit better. But now when people wanna buy it, they click on this, it'll be the normal course with the dynamic item. Remember, it's gonna show the amount. And when they click on this, if they want it, or multiple, because you can add multiple of these, you can add more, they'll have the ability to do so. They'll complete the order and then they'll go to the thank you page. And then we're gonna create an automation that actually delivers it, right? So we're gonna hit save. That creates the order bump. Now, what if I wanted to do like the one-time offer page? Well, then what I'll do is I gotta create a one-time offer page in order to put the one-time offer inside, right? So I'm gonna come over here and this one is pretty cool. So I'm just gonna duplicate, right? Clone the funnel step. And maybe I sell the one-time offer with like a video and then it's got like a button to buy. The whole point of the one-time offer is I'm not pulling out my credit card again to buy something. I'm just clicking a button. That's a one-time offer. So I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna come over here and go to publishing, change the name of it. This is gonna be Nuno's HighLevel course order form, but this instead of that, I'm gonna do one-time offer. And again, I'm making this super boring and drastic so you guys see it. I'm gonna change this to say OTO. And we always do it after the order form because you always have to collect the credit card information in order for the one-time offer to work. Now, just like before, I have to go to the products and add the one-time offer in here, all right? Select the price, hit save. And then here is a special thing that I wanna make sure you talk about in here. I'm gonna go to overview, and inside of overview, I'm gonna hit edit. Now, this is gonna take a little trick in order for you guys to really make this work the right way. I'm gonna leave the order form because we don't need the order form because we already have all the payment information stored in this funnel. Now they can't come back to this funnel if they're already coming out and they completed their purchase, because if they do, it's not gonna have any of the credit card information and none of this will work. So I'm gonna add a row and we would do like a small video, right? So I'm gonna go to video. I'm gonna make this like half width. I'm gonna talk about how cool this one-time offer is. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a button. Again, your button will say something completely different. I'm just doing this as an example. Instead of saying click to sign up, get this one-time offer for $297. All right, come in here, put in the text. All right, and usually one-time offer, that pricing is only available, and again, I'm sorry, $497. And then usually what I do is, this is $1097, get a 50, and I don't know if that's 50% exactly, get a 50% discount. Only today. Please mind the spelling. I'm trying to go as fast as possible for you guys so you guys get all of this. Okay, and I have this button. Now, it's really important that people have a choice. They can click on this button and go forward, or we have to give them a no button. So they click on the no button and they go to the next page. So first I'm gonna take care of this button because guess what? If they click the button, how do they get the product? Well, the buttons have a really cool feature. If I scroll all the way down, instead of saying link to, I have this one-click down sell product. And if I select the product, I select Nuno's Gohighlevel course, and all I have to do is hit save. And now if they click that button, we win and they buy the product. But now, like I mentioned before, we have to give them a way out. So I'm gonna create another button. This time I'm gonna make this button transparent. This is the way I like to do it. And I'm gonna say in there, I'm gonna go to the next step on the button. Remember, this is an invisible button, but not invisible words because I need them to see the words. No, thank you. I am not interested in another product. Obviously not the language you would use. Some people would like, no, I'm not interested in getting this one-time deal that's gonna save me 50%. I mean, obviously make it a little bit more fun, right? Or, oh my God, I know I'm making a huge mistake, but no, I don't want your product. Something like that, you know what I'm saying? But you have to have a button for them to proceed without buying the product. Very, very important. And notice all I did was make the wording in here, but I made the button transparent in the background color, so at least you see it. Now, if I want to highlight it a little bit and give it a border, I can. Again, it's up to you. And again, you can do a lot of things with button nowadays, but just make it. But the most important thing, it's got to be transparent, and you want to make sure it goes to the next step, which is the order confirmation. Because if they didn't buy this product and they bought the order bump, everything else, you still want them going to the thank you page. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And now you created the order bump. So in essence, this is the typical funnel that you would have for a course. A sales page with an order bump or no order bump, it doesn't really matter. And do you need to have all this? You don't. We have a sales page that goes to an order form. The order form then goes to a one-time offer. And then you have a thank you page with the order confirmation, which if you want to put an order confirmation in here, let me just kind of go back to this particular thing because you can come in here, and after you have this thank you, check your email. It'll be there in a few minutes and you can customize all you want. There is an order confirmation element that you can add that goes over their order. Now, if you don't have shipping details, what you can do is you click on the order confirmation, come all the way down here and just hide the shipping details on the right-hand side. Remember, everything that I showed you, including how to build funnels, you grab things from the left, put them in the middle, which is your working area, and then you customize on the right. All right, so I'm gonna hit save and you're ready to rock and roll. And then the last section is going to be the automations on how to put this all together, right? So now we've done our membership area completely and wholly, right? We've come in here, we did our complete course funnel. Again, you're going to go back and you're going to customize it. You're going to make it pretty. The only thing that's left to do in the course area, which I want to cover in here, is doing two things. One, you go into settings. If you want to add a domain, you pick a domain that you want to add it to and you make it live. You have to add the domain first. There's other videos to show you how to do that, and you hit save. All right, and that makes the funnel live for you to take customers. Now, the other thing that's super important, because you want this course to show up the right way when you share it on social media, you have to do what's called metadata, at least with your sales page. So if you hit edit and you come in here and you go over to your left-hand side, you're gonna notice this top area in here that has a bunch of icons. You're gonna select on the icon that is SEO metadata. And here, you're going to update the content. The title is going to be Nuno's High-Level Course. All right, that's the name of it. And if you have a brand or whatever, put the brand, Nuno Tavares, all right, or Automated Marketer, whatever. I put the description, I put the same thing. All right, so content description, super important. You can add more to the description because this is going to help you be more searchable. And when you share on social media, this is what it's going to share. All right, it actually gives you a little preview of what it's going to share with that. Keywords, if you want to make it super searchable, like high-level course, okay. Author is going to be myself, right? Or your brand, whatever it is. And then the social images is important because this is what's going to be shared when you share the whole thing. Now, I want to upload that other image that I made with me and Alex Hermosi, hopefully one day my BFF. So we're going to come right there. And now when I share this is what people are going to see. All right. So again, you want to make sure you fill this out. You don't have to do it to every single page, but I would do it at least to the sales page because that's normally where you're going to share it. You're not going to share your order page or anything like that. You are going to share this. But if you want to go back and do it for those pages, you totally can. All right. And you're going to want to hit save. Now, if your site is live, after you hit save, make sure you hit publish because this is going to make the live changes. Because what a lot of people like to do is they like to save, hit the preview button, see what it looks like before they make it live. And you want to go ahead and do that. Again, not a course per se video. This is a very long video because we're literally going from start to finish how to launch a course like today if you wanted to do this, right? Now, you're going to come into automations and we're going to start building our whole entire automation suite. Now, we're going to have basically 4 automations and then we're going to have a couple of extras just to kind of understand how all this works. First is we're going to create a folder, 00, Nuno's High-Level Course. All right, we're going to hit create, come over here, and we're going to create our first workflow. Now, there's some you can pick in here for like abandoned carts and everything else, like recovery carts with 2 emails. You can pick on this and this kind of works pretty well. This is mostly made for e-commerce. This is not an e-commerce thing. This is going to be more for a lesson, so you have it. But if you want to select it, you can, and you can build off that. And we're just going to change probably the starting one, which it doesn't even have the starting trigger. So I'm going to come into the starting trigger, and this is the way you set up an abandoned cart. First, let's change the name of this. Let's get rid of all this. And I'm going to put in the title of, let's say we're going to use Nuno's course. So we'll use the initials N, 01, AC for abandoned cart, Nuno's high-level course. And the reason I label all this is because I want to be able to, if I'm running multiple courses, I want to know what they have, right? So I'm going to come over here. And what I want to do is order form submission. It only works with order form submission and not anything else. I'm going to add a filter. I'm going to do the funnel website. So funnel is the first thing you got to select, Nuno's High-Level Course. That's the funnel we just created. The page is the order form page. This is why I labeled everything, right? The order page. And then the filter is submission type is right in here, opt in, because it's the first part of the 2-step order form. If you did a 1-step, you're out of luck. You can't do this. The wait step is usually 30 minutes. And then the first email is going to be the email that goes out. Now, granted, they give you a template email. You can make this a super easy, like very no frills email by putting the word none here under templates and then writing your email in here. If you watch some of my other videos, honestly, you can go in there, make sure you add a subject line and the from name and the from email of where it's coming from. Make sure that the from email matches your actual domain. You hit save. And then the same thing for this one. Maybe this one you want to use a template. It doesn't matter. But notice that the wait is 30 minutes to the first email. And then it's usually 3 hours or 1 day. I like 3 hours for the second email because if they have to wait a day, they probably already like stop thinking about it, right? And then same thing with the email. Come in here, from name, from email. You're going to want to make sure you fill that out and you're set to go here and then just hit save. And you would hit publish when you're ready to go after you customize all your emails. Now that's the abandoned cart. The purchase one is even easier, but we're going to add a few things in here to make it really, really cool. So we're going to come over here, create workflow, start from scratch. We're going to do this one from actual scratch because I want to show you how to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to come over here and this is going to be 02. We're going to start with the, let's start it again. N for Nuno's course, right? Yours can be whatever initial. I do like working initials. It's a weird little bug that's going on right now, but okay. N02, and this is going to be Nuno's high-level course purchase. Okay. All right. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the trigger and we're going to type in payment received. And we're going to do global product is, again, we're going to do Nuno's high-level course. And then we're going to select the payment status is successful. What this does is unless I have a received a payment and was successful, I can't give them access, which is what I want. But because we did an abandoned cart, the first thing we got to do is remove them from the abandoned cart sequence that I just created. So we're going to remove from another workflow and the workflow is another workflow and the workflow name is going to be N01. Now I know why I did that. So then it's easier to find. So I remove them from the abandoned cart. Let's just label that so we have it. AC. Come in here and we are going to go and give them a tag. And then this is going to be, I usually do course and then whatever the course name is, Nuno's high-level course. Okay, hit add new tag. If I created a pipeline, I can update the opportunity, but I didn't do any pipelines on this time, but you can create it and track it in an opportunity if you'd like. Again, don't necessarily need to do that, but if you wanted to know, let's go ahead and do it. So the first thing I have to do is hit find opportunity because if the opportunity was existing before, I would have to do it. So recently created opportunity, but I wanted a specific pipeline. So pipeline is, we're just going to do AM course, which is one that I created. If I find the contact already in there, I just want to move it. So if opportunity is not found, I want to create a new one. So I'm going to hit create opportunity. It's going to be in the AM course. I'm going to add a field, which is opportunity name, which is the person's name. And if you don't have a pipeline, you can just go and create one. I have a video on how to create pipelines, so just go watch that. And then I'm going to do pipeline stage is going to be purchase. And then the value, because I use payment received, I can do opportunity value and I can come over here, use a dynamic variable, which is a dynamic, which is updates and the payment received, I can do total amount. And now I have a very concrete way of doing that. If it was already existing, like meaning the contact was already in an abandoned cart before and they came back, I don't want to create a duplicate contact. So I type in the word update and it's going to not be this one that says create update opportunity. It's going to be this new beta one because this is where it's all going to move to. I'm going to allow the opportunity to move in previous stage. So meaning if they were somewhere else before, I want to move back. I'm going to hit add field. Pipeline is going to be the AM course. All right. The pipeline stage is now going to be the purchase and the opportunity name. They already have the opportunity name. So that means that the name is already there. So all I'm going to do is the course and update that it was a purchase. And I'm going to update the opportunity value, which is again, I'm going to change this to dynamic. And then I'm going to choose the payment received, the total amount. Like that, I can get that in there. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is right after I find the opportunity is I'm going to keep going down the pipeline. I am going to first give them access to the course. So I got to go to grant course offer, select, and this is going to be Nuno's high-level updated course. I'm going to send them an email. Now, this is not going to be the password and username email. We're going to do that in a separate email. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to hit send email. Again, you're going to fill out the from, the subject. I'm going to say welcome. And if I want to use their name, I can use this little tag here. Go to first name. And then I would write a nice email welcoming them. And then in this email, I will say your course login will come in a different email. Make sure to check spam. Okay. And that's what we're going to do. If I wanted to send an SMS, letting them know the same thing, I could, but that's only if I have their phone number and I have SMS approved, like text messaging approved in order to do that, but it would be basically the same exact thing. Right, now, because I created an opportunity, I need to make sure they get the same thing. So I'm gonna type in the word go to, click on that, hit save action, and then make sure that if I'm not updating the opportunity, but I'm creating the opportunity, that I have it going to the same steps. Now, I can also add a note so it tracks, I'll say customer bought high level course. Because note does is it puts in a little note on their file on the timestamp of when they bought the course. And it's just something cool that I like to usually do. So then it has that. Now I have all this, right? So I'm going to hit save. So I have an abandoned cart. I did all this. I wrote a really nice welcome email. But now I have to give them credit for getting the course. Now, so if we remember, right, we created a portal for the customer area. The customer area is really important, but the problem is that if I have multiple courses, HighLevel does a really good job of getting the customer that's brand new, the information when it's a brand new course. However, if it's a person that's already in your members area and now they're getting another course, they sometimes don't send that secondary email. This is why we created these two automations that I'm going to build next. Has workarounds to ensure that people get their emails and get more of a customized experience. And I'm going to show you how to build those next. All right. And now this is by far the hardest part of the automation, because what we're going to do now is create the membership ones. So now we're going to start from scratch. This one's going to be a little confusing, so just kind of follow along. Now, remember, I have to create a workaround. This is why we're doing it this way. So I'm going to come over here and we're going to name it N03. And then this one is going to be new member sign up, because this will fire on anybody that hasn't been inside your current members area. So the way we're going to start it is we're going to add new trigger. And then what you're going to do is new, and you're going to go to new sign up, right? The new sign up, you're going to come in here. You're going to hit the offer. The offer is going to be Nuno's high level course. And we're going to go ahead and save trigger. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to add a temp tag. And the reason we do this is to ensure that anybody coming in is going to have a temporary tag like that. We know that they're new, so the other automation doesn't fire. So this is going to be the new sign up temp tag. That's what I'm going to call it. And I'm going to hit save action. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait 3 minutes. And right now, guys, trust me, in doing this for over like several years, this still works, because this is something we've been doing for pretty much every membership that we've been building for clients and even for ourselves. So it waits 3 minutes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to send a username and email and a password. And then I'm going to send email. All right. The from name, again, is going to be your name. From email is going to be your email. And in here, you're going to write something like along the lines of your login details. Super easy. If you want to put a name, it ensures that they're going to open your login details, contact, first name. Then you're going to come over here and basically I'm going to tell you what I wrote. So basically is, hey, first name, save these details for later. Here are your login details. So what we're going to do is I'm going to write this over for you guys so it's easier. So I'm going to delete all this, okay? And it's going to change this wording. So actually, you know what? Let's just rewrite this whole thing. I'm going to come over here. I'm just going to say blah, blah, blah. And then instead of saying here are your login details, you're going to write, please click the link below to set your username and password. Because that's the new magic link that exists. Because what we're going to do is we're now going to send a magic link over. And the way you do it is you come over here, click on the little tag looking thing like you've done for other custom values. But now you're going to notice, because we did new membership sign up, you're going to have this course element that you can pull from. So you're going to click on this and you can click on new sign up and URL magic link. And when they click on that, they're automatically going to be added. And then you're just going to add your name and then like a thank you. All right. If any questions, please email, and whatever the email is, right? Support, whatever your current email is, support@whatever.com. And then I'm going to take this same exact thing here. I'm going to copy it. Now, if I collected the phone number, I'm going to come here and SMS, send an SMS and send the same exact information, because believe it or not, people will sometimes not get the email or go into spam. The SMS most likely will go through. So that's the first one. But now I also have to account for, just in case these people were existing members. And by the way, guys, you can't test these workflows by just doing in the test workflow on top. You actually have to go through the process, because all of this is requiring that something is happening in either in the funnel or in the membership area. And if those two things don't happen, this will not fire, right? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to add another workflow. So create another workflow from scratch. And this is the existing member workflow, and both of these need to exist. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to delete this and we're going to do N04. And this is going to be existing member password. All right. And then I'm going to come over here, or existing or current. We'll do existing member or current member. And this is people that are existing in your membership area. This is very relevant if you are going to be doing multiple courses, which we are. And then we come in here, and this one, instead of saying new member created, we're doing offer access granted. All right, when offer access is granted, we still have to filter down to the offer, which is going to be new knows high level course. And then here, we're going to do the plus sign. And now on this one, we wait 1 minute. And the reason we wait 1 minute is to check to see whether or not it has the new tag. Because if they were in the new offer, they won't go through this one, and that's what we're going to eliminate, right? So now we're going to wait 1 minute. So we let that thing run. And then in here under the condition, which is an if else statement. So I type in the word if, I get the if else. And then I'm going to put right in here, the condition is not new member. Okay. So here, the first thing we're going to do is contact details, and we're going to check for a tag. So we type in the word tags, does not include new member, because if it includes new member, then we don't want this thing to fire. So remember we created that temp tag. It's got to be the same exact tag. So I got to search for it. New sign up temp tag. All right. And I hit save. And now look, I have two paths. So if they were a member and they're getting the new member automation, they're going to get kicked out of this one. If they don't have the new member tag, then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to type in the wait. Now it's going to be, I don't even need to hold the wait, honestly, but I like to do it. I'm going to say like 2 minutes, which is a long time in the internet space. And this time the message is going to be a little different, right? It's going to be like, hey, you're already a member in our software. Just please sign in. Your login details, and then I'm going to put the name, first name, all right? And then the message is more like, hey, it seems like you already have access to our members area, all right? And then what am I going to do? I'm going to give them the actual URL, login URL. Let me just put URL, and you can put congratulations, here's your access to whatever else. And then remember the login URL was that one right here, the automatedmarketer.live, and that's what I put in here. Now, technically, you can also, if you want to use the magic link, you can do this, or click this magic link, okay? And then we're just going to go over here and hit the little thing right there. Go over to course, offer access granted, login URL, magic link. All right, then again, your name and then the support email, right? And now you secretly have done it. Now, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the same exact information, Control C, Control A, Control C, come in here, do an SMS, boom, look at that. Now that's all said and done. Now I have an SMS going out too, and that's technically it. Now remember, we have an OTO and we actually have a one-time offer and we have an order bump. So we want to account for the order bump and the OTO. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the purchase automation here. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that workflow. Come in here, change the name of it, right? We're in number 4, so let's make this number 5. This is going to be order bump purchase. Okay, I'm going to hit create. And now the product is going to be payment received, but instead of being Go High Level course, it's going to be the order bump. So I'm just going to type in order bump because that's what we name it, just so easy you can find it. New knows order bump, hit success. I don't have to remove them in the abandoned cart because they're already through, but if you want to keep it there for extra security, you could. I remove a tag if you're going to have, actually, we won't remove the tag. I don't know why that's there. So I'm just going to delete that there. All right. Opportunity, we're not going to have either, but I do want the emails in the back. So I'm just going to grab this email in the notes. So I'm going to copy all actions from here, put this all the way up here, get rid of all this craziness down here because we're not going to update the pipeline for an order bump. And now if it was an order bump that was going to be, let's say, a file of some sort, I would just come in here and do like a Google Drive link and I would give them the file, right? It would be that simple. If it was going to be another course, I would do another access, remember, course grant offer, and then I would send them over there. If it was going to be a calendar, I send them to a calendar and so forth and so on. But for instance, we're just going to make believe this one was a link. I'm going to hit save. And now that that one's done, what I'm going to do is, and I know that there was a previous one that made a mistake. I just want to make sure we go back and fix it. And I'll show you what that mistake was. I'll come over here. And now we duplicate this one, 6, and this is going to be OTO. And this one I'm going to send a calendar because they got like the 1 hour coaching with me or whatever. And I want to give them, make sure they get to the right place. So when they purchase, I change the payment received to now be the OTO, coaching OTO, like we mentioned, right? Or whatever it was. They pay, and then they now here would be the link to the calendar, all right? Or it will be grant access to another course, whatever you want it to be, right? Makes it super simple. And now there's a lot of other things you can do literally inside the membership area. So what if I want to reward or send an email or get notified when somebody completes the course and gets a certificate? I can create a workflow, right? Start from scratch. Come over here. We're going to name this N07, and I want to show you all the different things you can do. So completed course, okay? And maybe I want to send them an email. Now look at this. If I hit add new trigger and scroll all the way down to courses, look at all the things I have. They started a category. They completed a category. They started a lesson. They completed the lesson. New sign up we just used, offer access granted we just used, product access granted. These are all kind of the same. product started, product complete. Now, product complete means they physically completed the entire course. And if you want to use that, you can come in here, product complete. I select a filter, product is any of, and now it's not going to be the AIM course. It's going to be Nuno's high level course. And then I hit the plus sign. And then look what I can do. If I go all the way down again to the members area part, you'll see it all the way down here in triggers and things you can do in a membership. Membership, communities, issue certificate. I can issue a certificate right here. Pick the template, Nuno's course certification, boom. I can also send a badge if I wanted to. It may be after they complete a lesson. So let's do one with the lesson. So that's a product completed, like the whole thing's completed. What if I wanted to give them a badge for the third lesson that they complete, right? So if I come in here, create workflow, start from scratch. All right, come over here, delete this nonsense right here and that workflow bug, N08, lesson and badge. Okay, I come over here, type in lesson, completed, add filters. We're gonna go to the product first, is any of, remember, Nuno's high level course. And let's just do the start here because that's the only category I had. Is any, day one or something like this, right? Or I think it was, let's try that one. I've had a lot of high level courses. Done this example many, many times. Is any of, start here, right? And then lesson was any of, and it'll list all the lessons, right? So I wanted to do one when they do the start lesson here too. And then what I can do is I can give them a badge. So if I come over here, we can do badges. So remember, if I come in here, I do certification because that's what it's under. Issue certificate, boom, new member badge. And now I can just send him a nice looking badge. You know what I'm saying? So how cool is that? Also, maybe you want to know when the user first logged in because sometimes users buy course and they never log in, right? Or give them some emails to encourage them to go. If I wanted to encourage them, like after they sign up to keep taking the course, I'm gonna come in here and right in the workflow that they purchased the course. And by the way, this should have been add tag, not remove. So I'm gonna delete that. That was the mistake I made prior that I told you I wanted to fix. So we're gonna add a tag, add contact tag. And this is gonna be course. Remember, we wrote it. Course, Nuno's high level course. I'm gonna hit save. For some odd reason, I had remove tag. That was a mistake. But let's make believe I wanna encourage them like, hey, it's been 5 days. So I'm gonna type in await. And I'm going to do 5 days. Boom. Look at that. And now I could send them an encouraging email. Hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Just doing a little check-in to make sure that they're rocking and rolling. So, and I could just do checking in. All right. And then how are you? How is it going? We do this with all of our clients to ensure that they're not being blocks, just like that. And then you could just do some other things, give them some tips, whatever you want to do to encourage them to move forward in your course. Or maybe, just maybe, you want to know whether or not they've gone forward or, they just logged in, right? So you could do it when the user first logs into the membership area. So there's a lot of things you could do to play with this. And you can create these massive amounts of automation to make a really interactive experience. So a lot of this is based on really what you kind of want your customers to have. I want to be as helpful as possible. And this is going to be user first login. All right. And I'm going to come over here. And again, I'm going to type in user because I know it exists, or maybe I don't. So let's see. We're going to go all the way to courses, user login. And again, I just want to know when they first log into my members area period. And I can go ahead and do this and get alerted when they do, right? So there's no filters per se. So we're going to trash that. And it's going to be on any user login for the particular person. And then maybe I just want to get a tag, user first logged in. User logged in. I'll make one literally that says user login. That at least lets me know that these people are serious. They at least try to log in and they're ready to go. So that's typically it. Think about all the things that we did. We literally went from start all the way to finish on a complete course guideline. We created our products. We added our products to the course. We created the entire members area from absolute scratch. We then went to the funnel. We added our products to the funnel. We created the core pages. Then we went to automations and we automated everything. I know this was a much longer video than anticipated, but literally this is the absolute start to finish in the later part of 2025. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video and we'll see you in the next one.